Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock miner, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And we saw a pretty sizable move back up in the markets today. Not unusual for the action we've seen in the past, and that's we had a really nice move down by the bears yesterday. It was a good start to things, but like I said, nothing broken, and I really wasn't all that excited about this. This drop. The bulls are buying every dip, every opportunity they get. They are just continuing to buy this market right back up again. Very evident by today's actions too. Hard to think that they're really going to crash hard into earnings too. I think a lot of people are putting their earnings, setting the bar low, and that way, it's almost guaranteed to achieve them or come pretty close. And if they miss, they don't miss by much, and so that has an effect on the markets too. I really don't know if that's what they do with earnings, but I'm just saying that if you were the CEO of a company based on the economic situation we've just been through with the big dive in the markets, that would by far be the wisest thing to do, and that's set the bar low. And if you meet it or beat it, then great. Your stock's going to skyrocket. So we saw a little bit of that even tonight. COF reported tonight, and it's way up in the after hours. So Capital One came through with better than expected earnings, and so now that stock is skyrocketing in the after hours. That's going to kind of start to buoy these markets. Once again, my subscribers and I have been talking a lot about the banks and what to be watching for within the banks themselves. So Capital One might have helped things tonight with their reported earnings. But as we take a look at the 60-minute on the Dow, you can see that we fell yesterday right back into support, which I mentioned. Bounced off of it today, it held, and it ran up all day long. Right back into resistance here. So, once again, another trend line that comes through, and once again, another break of that trend line and a retest of that trend line. We're seeing that same pattern quite a bit in the past few weeks with the markets themselves. If we look at it on a daily, we're still looking at that channel, and you can see that uh, this little move to the downside could have been just nothing more than one more bull pullback before another push to the upside. We are still in this channel, so we are still watching this upper channel line as a resistance point. No reason to think it won't hold on the next touch of it. So keep that in mind moving forward. If it breaks up and over this high here, look for it to maybe hold at this upper trend line and still create that whole sideways to slightly up type of action we've been watching. Let's see if we move forward on the NASDAQ 60-minute, you can see the same. I haven't drawn in all the trend lines either, but the same type of stuff. Pull back here, consolidate sideways, and a move up today. Now, the NASDAQ was actually the lagger of the day, which was very interesting to see. Where the Dow was actually leading the pack today, the NASDAQ was behind everything else. So, once again, if the NASDAQ is a leading indicator, we could see a little pullback again tomorrow. A little move to the downside. It's Friday. Maybe it's a little doji. Maybe it's an inside candle. I don't know till tomorrow hits, but that would certainly, indicate something to me anyway, that the Nasdaq was down and considerably down. Whereas the S&P was up 1%, the Dow was up 1.25%, the Nasdaq was only up 0.7%. So not near as strong as the other indices were. On a daily, you can see this dotted line still holding. It held right here at support like the other indices did. Now we're pushing our way back up. If it gets back up into this area, look for this dotted line to hold. Otherwise, something more serious for the Nasdaq would be a break of this support line back here. Nasdaq on a weekly, you can see here that we have not closed out yet the week yet, obviously. We'll wait and see what the candle looks like tomorrow, but still very, very bullish behavior in here. Watch this 1773 area, and then above that is going to be this resistance line here, no question. SPX on a 60-minute, you can see it come right back down here to support, and then a move back up and above all of this here. Now we have what was kind of looking like a shoulder, head, shoulder. We broke it, came back down here to retest this area, and really kind of did validate this head and shoulders pattern all in one big fell swoop. This 1075 was the area I kept telling you guys. If we see this area hit, it's almost a certainty that we're going to see some sort of a bounce or something off of this area. And sure enough, that's precisely what we saw. It hit this area here, it bounced off of it, and actually made it up further than I would have expected. I would have expected to see a pause or a stop right here at the 50 or at the 20. Nope, no such luck. That thing bounced off 1075 and came tearing back up all day long. So this was a great entry point here if you wanted to get long. I've been calling out this here for the last few days that this 1075 is very strong, was extremely strong resistance, now is acting as very strong support. Break below this and a hold below this for any length of time is going to be a very good step for the bears. But right now it just held very well today. I know a lot of people that bought this gap, and that was a brilliant buy early this morning to catch that gap. SPX on a daily, you can see here we are, this gap fill at the 1075 area. Now we're pushing our way back up. Still, we're not above this 1100 area, though this might be the push that I had expected yesterday. Maybe this takes us up past 1100 to the 1107, 1110 area when it's all said and done. We'll watch and see what kind of price action we get tomorrow on Friday and see if we move sideways or if we move up. But that would be the next area to watch, would be that 1100 area here. Any push above that, look for 1107 to 1110. Otherwise, below us, it's really 1075. It's all about 1075. SPX on a weekly, haven't closed yet, but look how it's still hanging within that rising wedge on the weekly chart. VIX on a daily, down today almost 7%. Bulls like to see that, especially since the markets were up today. And you can see we're pulling right back down here to this 20. If we look on a weekly, we have retested the top of this trend line, and that's what's holding right now. So if we'll see if it continues to hold into next week. I would fully expect that we'll see this doji out or finish maybe even down here. If the markets move up and close at that 1100 or even touch that 1100 to 1110 area tomorrow, watch for this VIX to get right back down here and hold maybe on this line. Any break below it takes us right back here to this 18 area. Apple on a 60-minute, you see the big gap up after earnings.